McDowell County, West Virginia, is a rugged, mountainous region located in the heart of Appalachia. Known for its striking landscape of steep hills, dense forests, and winding rivers, McDowell's natural beauty is a defining feature. The county was once a thriving center of the coal mining industry, and remnants of that era are still visible today, from old railway tracks to abandoned mining structures. The tight-knit communities scattered throughout McDowell have a deep sense of resilience and pride, fostered over generations of hard work in the coalfields. The people of McDowell County embody Appalachian culture, with traditions of storytelling, folk music, and craftsmanship passed down through families. Despite economic hardships and a shrinking population due to the decline of coal, the county's spirit remains strong, with residents deeply connected to their heritage and land. Towns like Welch, the county seat, offer a glimpse into the county's history with historic buildings and small-town charm, while more rural areas feature quiet, winding roads through the mountains. McDowell County faces modern challenges, including economic struggles and limited resources, yet its people continue to forge ahead, finding strength in their communities and their bond to the Appalachian way of life.
I've lived in this doctor's office. It's been my doctor's office for the last 30 years. It's just like losing a member of the family.
My mother's took me for, when I was growing up, all through my growing up years, there for colds, flus, or whatever, We've always been there. It's going to be kind of hard until they can get something.
The tragic case of Dr. Ebb K. Doc Whitley's death in McDowell County, West Virginia, tore through the heart of the community, bringing with it questions of justice, vengeance, and ultimately wrongful conviction. At its center was Dr. Whitley, a beloved local figure known for his dedication and public service, and Charles Jason Lively, a man whose conviction would later be called into question, casting doubt on traditional arson investigation methods and the criminal justice process. Dr. Whitley was a pillar of the McDowell County community, known for his kindness, commitment, and deep love for his hometown. He had led a life of service that spanned decades, leaving an undeniable mark on the town and its people. A decorated Air Force veteran, Dr. Whitley returned to West Virginia with a sense of duty that extended well beyond his career in medicine. He served on the McDowell County Board of Education, the County Commission, and the County Democratic Executive Committee, and eventually earned a position in the West Virginia House of Delegates. Known for his generosity and loyalty, Dr. Whitley was respected by everyone who knew him, seen as a guiding figure in Iaeger, a small town in the heart of coal country. But as he aged, Dr. Whitley faced significant physical challenges. Bound to a wheelchair, he lived alone in his Iaeger home, where he would eventually meet his tragic end. On a night in March 2005, the home of the 80-year-old doctor and politician went up in flames. The inferno quickly spread, trapping Whitley inside. Emergency responders arrived to find the house consumed by fire, and Dr. Whitley was unable to escape. His death shocked McDowell County, plunging the small, tight-knit community into grief. The aftermath of Dr. Whitley's death brought in investigators from across the state, who were quick to search for answers regarding the fire's origins. From the outset, the fire's cause raised questions. Fire investigators believed that the blaze was not an accident. It was fueled by the presence of chemicals commonly found in flammable liquids. Laboratory tests on the charred remains of Whitley's home detected traces of toluene, a chemical typically associated with gasoline or lighter fluid. This finding supported a theory that a deliberate arson had taken place, leading investigators to search for potential suspects with a motive. As investigators scoured the scene, they identified two men of interest, Charles Jason Lively and Tommy Owens. Lively, then 29, had a history of minor run-ins with the law, but was not known to have any major criminal background. Tommy Owens, a local man also known to authorities, became a secondary suspect. However, it was Lively who would bear the brunt of the investigators' suspicions. Eventually being arrested, and charged with first-degree murder and first-degree arson. In 2006, Lively's case went to trial in a high-profile proceeding that would later be scrutinized for its flaws. Given the intensity of local sentiment, Lively's defense attorney successfully moved for a change of venue, shifting the trial from McDowell County to Putnam County. The prosecution, led by McDowell County prosecuting attorney Sid Bell, argued that Lively was motivated by a personal grudge, or perhaps a desire for financial gain. Despite the lack of direct evidence linking him to the scene, prosecutors focused heavily on the fire's alleged arson origin, contending that the presence of toluene indicated a deliberate act. Witnesses testified about circumstantial evidence, painting Lively as an angry, volatile individual. However, one critical issue loomed over the trial. Lively's attorney had opted not to hire an independent arson expert to counter the state's testimony. The prosecution's case heavily relied on traditional fire investigation methods that were commonly accepted at the time, which suggested that the chemical residues found indicated the use of an accelerant. The defense's decision not to challenge these findings with an expert witness allowed the state's arguments to go largely uncontested. As a result, the jury convicted Lively of both first-degree murder and first-degree arson, sentencing him to life with the possibility of parole after 15 years. His conviction, however, would not mark the end of the case. Unlike Lively, Tommy Owens faced a separate trial, and his defense team took a more aggressive approach in dismantling the state's claims. Owens' attorneys challenged the credibility of the arson investigation, questioning whether the fire could truly be classified as arson based on the evidence available. Without a solid link between Owens and the fire, the jury found him not guilty, and Owens was acquitted. This acquittal, combined with the absence of any concrete evidence tying Lively directly to the fire, would later raise questions about the validity of Lively's conviction. Over the years, doubts surrounding Lively's conviction began to emerge. Sid Bell, the very prosecutor who had tried Lively, started to question the outcome of the case. By 2018, Bell took the extraordinary step of signing an affidavit expressing his belief that Lively's conviction was a mistake. He cited several missteps, including the defense's failure to hire an arson expert and the decision to move the trial to Putnam County, where a conviction was more likely. Bell also acknowledged that advances in fire investigation science had called the methods used in Lively's trial into question. Bell's doubts were reinforced when he reached out to Dr. Craig Baylor, a respected arson investigator from Texas who had been involved in re-evaluating arson cases across the country. Dr. Baylor had gained a reputation for his expertise in challenging flawed fire science, including in high-profile cases like the Cameron Todd Willingham case in Texas, where an innocent man was wrongfully executed for arson and murder based on outdated forensic methods.
Cameron Todd Willingham was executed in 2004 for killing his 3 kids in a fire he was convicted of setting. But now, 9 forensic scientists believe the evidence shows it was not arson.
Dr. Baylor's analysis of Lively's case proved damning to the original conviction. Upon reviewing the Whitley fire, Dr. Baylor concluded that the presence of toluene alone was not conclusive evidence of arson. Additional tests revealed that other compounds usually present in gasoline or lighter fluid were absent from the samples, undermining the theory that an accelerant was used. Dr. Baylor suggested that the fire may have started accidentally, possibly due to an electrical fault. He observed that the fire appeared to have begun within the floor joists between the first and second floors, an area where electrical wiring was likely present. Given the absence of the crucial evidence tying the fire directly to arson, Dr. Baylor's analysis cast substantial doubt on Lively's conviction. With this new evidence in hand, Lively's legal team, including attorneys Melissa Giggenbuck from the West Virginia Innocence Project and Andrew T. George, argued for his release. They highlighted the parallels between Lively's case and the infamous Texas case involving Willingham, which had brought national scrutiny to the use of bad science in arson investigations. By 2018, Circuit Court Judge William Sadler reviewed the findings and granted Lively a hearing, ultimately ordering his release after years behind bars. Outside the Mercer County Courthouse, a crowd of supporters gathered, wearing Justice for Jason t-shirts and celebrating the moment they had waited over a decade for.
The last 13 years in prison, is now living the rest of his life as a free man, thanks to new evidence overturning his conviction.
Among them was Lively's mother, Kathy Lively Hamilton, who had remained hopeful despite the long years of separation. "Oh, I have prayed to live to see my son walk out of prison innocent," she tearfully told reporters. "This would be the best day except for the day he was born." After serving 13 years, Lively finally walked out of the courthouse a free man. His case remains a stark example of the flaws that can exist in the justice system, especially in cases hinging on forensic science that is subject to change and reinterpretation. Lively's story, along with others, serves as a reminder of the importance of rigorous scrutiny in criminal investigations and the need for continuous advancements in forensic science. While the community still mourns the loss of Dr. Whitley, the re-evaluation of Lively's case stands as a victory for those who believe in the power of truth and justice.